welcome to day two. The conversation I wanted to have with you today, as I find where that music is at, hang on, I'll get it down. And there we go. All right. Hey, good afternoon, good morning, good evening. If you're watching the recording, thank you. Welcome to day two. My name is Sean Murphy. I will be your conversationalist for the next little bit. This series, today is day two, Ness and STA, Strategic Time Analysis. So just want to make sure, give me a thumbs up if you can hear me okay. Somebody messed up my glasses. All right, awesome. Thank you, Eloise. All right, so here's the conversation. Yesterday, we talked about chakras. We talked about how important it is to be able to understand why Ness is. Ness deals with the selfies. It deals with the moments of when you're by yourself. See, all training is usually done, you and an instructor, and it's about some conversations. It's about this idea, this philosophy of doing something new. Now, in order for us to get to where we want, I think it would be fair to say, if we wanted to get to someplace new, we would have to leave the old place, which means we're stepping into the unknown if we've not been there. Even if we've been there, how many times, listen carefully, how many times have you ever gone back to your school right after your senior year? You went back to your school, and the next spring, and you went back to your school, and you were graduated, and I only know this about high school because I never made it to university. That's a whole nother training. But I went back to high school my year after I graduated, and it looked like it changed. How many of you have ever gone back to your home that you grew up in? And it seems so much smaller if you left as a child. Right? It was big when you were a kid, like, oh my gosh, my room was huge. And then you're like, I slept in here with my brother? In here. So Ness is about moving into the unknown, neuroenergetic self-sculpting. And as we understand this, one of the things we have to understand at a fundamental level is that in order for us to achieve any success that we get to call our own, we have to step into the success. We have to step into the success that is our own. So, yesterday we talked about chakras, getting your body in alignment. Today we're going to include this thing called strategic time analysis, how we get more done in a particular time. See, would you agree that there's times in your day that you feel more comfortable doing certain things? I mean, I know we're wired. How many of us have ever had breakfast for dinner, right? Some of us love it. Sometimes we'll have some eggs or pancakes or the kids, but it's not something we do all the time. It's an oddity. What if there's been things that we do that have become habitual that keep us from achieving our success? And this is where we have to understand, if we choose to, if we want to understand and look at the way that there's certain times of the day where things do better. How many of you have ever listened to or read the Farmer's Almanac? Did you know there's good times to cut your hair to make it grow longer? To make it grow faster? Did you know there's times to cut your hair to slow down its growth? You can call it old wives' tales, but everything seems to have a season. Doesn't it make sense that plants, when you plant them, seeds, when you plant them, grow better in the spring than they do in the winter? If a plant, come on now, follow me. If a plant can grow better based upon you planting it in a particular time, couldn't we do better if we planted particular ideas in a certain time? So I'm going to do a review today real quick of the chakras and times that we would use them. Now, I know we're in this time frame of life where we try to get as much done in as minimal time and get the biggest results. That may or may not be the best thing, understanding how absolutely critical it is for us to get a return, right? You've all heard of the term possibly ROI, return on investment. Well, the return on investment on your time is based upon when you do certain things. And so we're going to just talk about that today a little bit. I'm going to actually share a screen here again. So let me get some of these things out of the way here, just a second. Okay, that's going live to YouTube. Outstanding. And we can close all of that. Yes, we can. So here we go. If I do share screen. Basic, there we go. Over here, share desk, Microsoft. There we go. Share, share, share. Let's go slideshow and play from current slide. Ta-da! Y'all see day 2, Power of Ness and STA. Okay, excellent. Thank you. Thank you. So, understanding this. So here's the recap. Yesterday we talked about chakras. We're going to talk next week and possibly some today about neuroencoding, how we get wired and how we refuse. I'm going to say this with a lot of love and care, how we refuse to succeed based upon the way our body responds. Right? So neuroencoding, self-talk, we're going to talk about that next week. We're going to do some EFT tapping probably today. Gratitude. One of the things we're doing a morning show every morning, 6 days a week, 6 a.m. during the weekdays, 8 a.m. on Saturday. And in this time, we're doing gratitude at another level. So if you'd like to join us, you can go to unlearnme.live, and get your access to the dashboard. And you can join us on those morning calls of understanding how gratitude is important. We're going to talk about mental toughness and addiction to approval. So let's talk about incorporating strategic time analysis into the Ness program. We're going to call it, to save time, STA. STA, by focusing on the efficient and intentional use of time. I just want you to feel that for just a second. The intentional and the efficient use of time. How would that feel? Intentional. That you weren't being pulled in 1,001 directions. You could still do 1,001 things, but you're not being pulled in 1,001 things. You have absolutely the power to say, I'm in charge of me. This is who I am. I choose this now. It aligns with the holistic approach of Ness and emphasizes the balanced growth of self-improvement. Part of the challenge most people have, they'll buy books, they'll go to seminars, they'll attend events, and one of the things that'll happen is that they make big decisions at big events. The challenge is they don't have the discipline is what Napoleon Hill calls one of the number one ingredients for someone to be part of a mastermind. And discipline, if you don't know the definition, very simplistically, is the ability to follow through on a decision long after the emotion of making the decision has left you. So here's how the STA intentions could fit into the Ness program. And this is just a little introduction using the chakras. Understanding personal energy cycles. How many of you have heard the expression or heard the term, or maybe you are, so you can type it in the chat. Are you an early bird? Are you a night owl? Or are you a blend of them? A lot of people who are entrepreneurial sometimes, stop picking on me, sometimes the early bird is not the entrepreneur. They're the late owl. They're the one that says, man, I get things done after midnight. A lot of times it's moms. And the reason that they become a night owl is not because they're actually better performing at that. It's when the kids have gone to sleep. Just throwing it out there. So we wind up becoming this night owl. And what happens is that in the business that we're in, where we have to talk to people, it makes it tough to talk to people who are asleep, or at least to get them positively engaged in your business. So the reason is that understanding this integration to identify the times when different chakras are most active and when personal energies are at a level of either peak or low, wouldn't that be important? This also helps align that if you have to, if you particularly can't do a root chakra in the morning and you needed to do it in the evening, you could use an EFT that says, I know my root chakra is best aligned in the morning, I'm asking the energies to align it to this evening for this time so that I can have maximum results. And just this tapping gives you a current mission statement and a current vision statement that says, I know I'm challenging what's best. Is it okay if I get the best with what's now? Kind of cool, isn't it? So here's the chakras where they're aligned, right? Third eye, throat, the heart, the solar plexus, the sacrum, and the root and the crown. Just to give you an idea, they each have colors. Colors are important, right? A lot of times when I work with people, I ask them, what's your healing color? For many, it's usually a very bright color. It's not a diluted or a muted color, right? It's usually an orange, a yellow, a purple. So this one, and if you notice where the little symbol is located, this is your root chakra, right? So your root chakra is early morning. Move this out of the way so that I can see you all. Early morning around sunrise. How many of you have ever listened to somebody say a Sadguru, right? One of the top 50 most influential people in India. I think there's more than a handful of people in India, and to be in the top 50 is pretty cool. But Sadhguru says, have you let the sunrise ever bathe you? Have you let the sunrise ever bathe you? Have you sat there in the dark, in that twilight, and then all of a sudden, opposite of a sunset, the sunrise starts to peek out from the horizon? There's just something special about letting that sun, letting those rays begin to awaken your body, to fire up the cells in your spirit. So this is the root chakra. Now, I'm going to give you some generic times, approximately 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. See, one of the things I hope it's coming across, is that this Ness program isn't just another me too or wannabe or they said tomato, I say tomato, different thing. I hope you're seeing that it's a fundamentally different program because it gives you complete control. See, you can go out and do meditations of the root chakra, I am. I promise you, you'll feel them differently when you do those early in the morning. We do our morning call at 6 a.m. So when we do have conversations about the chakras, we're right in alignment. Here's some of the things that you can do. Grounding meditation. And the reason I want you to have this, and if you watch the recording, maybe I'll put these slides up in the dashboard for those of you that know how to access the dashboard, unlearnme.live, so that you can see these and have these as some notes for you. Practicing a meditation that focuses on the sensation of being grounded to the earth, like visualizing roots grow. So let's just do this for a second. I just want you to relax for just a second. Take a breath. And if you're sitting, sit up a little bit straighter. Just become aware of your body. Put a little more energy. You can still do it as comfortable as you want, but just become a little bit more aware. And I want you to feel your feet on the ground. Go ahead, close your eyes. And as your feet are on the ground, I want you to feel if you're wearing slippers or shoes. I have shoes on. I want you to feel the shoes on the bottom of your feet. Now, I want you to take the shoes or the slippers that you have on, or maybe your feet are in contact with the carpet or the tile. What's the temperature of your feet? I want you to put a little energy right there. Now I want you to imagine the energy, your wisdom, your power, your desires beginning to flow down your legs. Feel your legs warming up a little bit. Feel your knees warming up a little bit as they make the transition, if you're sitting, from going horizontal down towards the earth through your calves. They start to enter into your feet, and your feet become a little bit warmer. And all of a sudden, that energy starts to go down into the earth, heading towards the center of the earth. Yeah, that's a lot of space. I want you to feel these roots of energy. And as they go into the earth, I want you to feel them saying, I am standing on the shoulders of others who have served me. I am standing on those who have gone before me, allowing me to succeed and excel. And you start, all of a sudden, you feel there's a little bit of pressure on your feet as they are being pulled a little bit tighter to the earth, a little bit tighter to your shoes. You feel this energy where they're actually grabbing onto you, the supportive ideas and thoughts and concepts that are yours. You feel yourself a little more grounded right now? Now I want you to feel that energy from all of those sources, all of those souls, all of those individuals who know you're great, who know you're capable, who know you're willing and wanting to serve them more and carry on their legacy as you build yours, flowing back up into you, back up into your slippers or your shoes, into the soles of your feet. And you feel all of a sudden, you feel a tingle of energy and of awakeness moving up into your ankles and into your calves, back into your thighs, into your hips. And you feel it resting in your root chakra. And you say, I am connected. See, this is the idea of doing a grounded meditation. We took 3 minutes, 4 minutes to do that. This isn't about taking a 2-hour meditation. Those are important. This is about using the time wisely from 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. And just for a moment, just for a minute, stand where you are. Could be at your desk, could be at the water fountain, could be in an elevator ride up, as long as nobody's in there with you, because they'll think you're a little weird if all of a sudden you start closing your eyes and go, I'm just saying, become aware. So, nature walk. We're going to be doing those at the May event here at the ranch. For those of you that might be interested, the first week, I think it's the Thursday, Friday, the first Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday here at the ranch. We'll have about 20 folks here, and in the mornings, we will wake up and do nature walks. And hopefully my goal is to have some areas where we'll absolutely, thank you, 2nd through the 5th, have some areas where you will be able to walk barefoot without any stones or sticks and just be able to truly do a grounding session. So now if we move from our root chakra to our sacral chakra, when the body's digestive system is active and creativity is said to be flowing, how many of you would love to have more creativity? So this time is around, they seem to follow 8, right? 8 to 10, 6 to 8, 9 to 10. Now they're not written in stone. These are suggestions. This could be around 9 to 10 a.m. Engaging in creative work or hobbies such as painting or writing, maybe writing in your journal, watching, which can stimulate the flow of creative energies. Maybe it's just sitting. And do you like to doodle? Drop a D in the chat. Anybody like to doodle? Doodle is a sign of creation. One of the reasons that we doodle is it slows down our mind. When we have to activate the brain and operate all of this stuff here and then make something in the paper, and I don't care if it's circles or stars or your signature. How many of you, your signature is your doodle? I'm just saying, that's not a bad thing. My signature was my doodle for quite a long time because I lacked self-identity. I didn't think I belonged. So I would use my signature and I would imagine signing big checks and I would imagine signing contracts and I would imagine all of this. And as I just would start to write my signature, all of a sudden things started to flow towards me because it was allowing me to be active and to be creative. Being around or in water or even taking a shower to connect to the fluidity of the chakra. Now, again, suggested time, 9 to 10. Most of us are working during that time. We're not going to go, excuse me, boss, can I go home and take a shower? I'm like, what the heck is wrong with you, right? They're going to be a little confused. But this is just an idea. Maybe you go wash your hands, right? If you've got some nice lotion, you go wash your hands and you put on your nice lotion afterwards. Oh, I guess I could do that. How many of you are thinking, yeah, I guess I could do that? You need a break from your desk, right? So you get up, whether it's at home or at work, get up. So from 9 to 10, say 9:15, you set an alarm, you go, I got to go wash my hands. What happens is, how many of you are feeling a little odd right now going, get it up at 9 o'clock to go wash my hands? How stupid is that? That's just, I like you, Sean. I think you're pretty cool, but that just seems like it's round the bend, odd duck stuff. And I'm going to say, welcome to your future. See, that's your old story saying it's round the bend, odd duck. That's a little silly. Wash my hands and all of a sudden I can create creativity. How many of you have ever been in the food service business? Don't they teach you to sing a song to make sure your hands are clean? Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday, dear Sean. And supposedly with that much time, your hands are cleaner. You're not going to see it posted anywhere. You got to be in the F&B, the food and beverage industry, to know that that's the song that managers will tell people who are new to the service world. Do the happy birthday song, and they'll go, what? You don't know about the happy birthday song when you wash your hands? That much time it takes to get your hands clean. What if you did, I'm connected to me, I'm connected to me, I'm connecting my creativity, I'm connecting to me. I just want you to, when you come to one of my events, I don't want it to be, well, what's next? I got to buy the next thing to get the benefit. No, I want you to get it right now. Are you seeing how you could, this is strategic time analysis. Just taking 5 minutes to go wash your hand could change the rest of your forever. So we move up from the sacral to the solar plexus. This is late morning. This is your personal power. This is normally when sometimes things start to hit the fan. Usually they'll have hit the fan before you got started, but this is where it starts to snowball. And this is approximately when the sun is high, 10 to noon. Here's some activities. Power yoga. Do me a favor, when you get a chance, Google chair yoga. How many of you know there's such a thing as chair yoga? Focused on the core. You could do isometrics, right? How many of you just go ahead and do this right now? Lock your hands together and just pull apart, pull apart, pull apart, pull apart, pull apart. Oh, you feel that in your shoulders? Pull apart. Now push back, push them back together, push them back together, palms together, push, 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 push. How many of you feel your body expanding? Right? So this is about decision making, tackling important tasks that require decisiveness and personal authority. I bet if you look back at your day, I bet if you look back at your time, you'll find out that you were put in some challenging positions between 10 and noon. Somebody asked you to do something. I bet if you could go back and go, so when I felt uncomfortable doing that, when did I make that decision? A lot of us give up our personal authority because we think being a servant or of service will bring us a return. It will, it's good karma, but it's not good karma if you're doing it with bad feelings. You get bad karma back. So next one is the heart chakra. This one's midday. This is when the sun is at its peak. Why do you think that is? I mean, just think about before we had technology and understanding. Why do you think this ancient technology of chakras, that the heart would be at the peak of the sun? Isn't it because if you had to look up, aren't you fully in love and exposing yourself to the energies that be? I'm just guessing. I'm not a theologian or a chakraologist. That's probably not a name, right? But it's these activities of writing down things that you're grateful for. What if you took from 12 to noon and you just, on 12 and 1 and 2, you wrote down 3 things of heartfelt gratitude? And it matters not, it doesn't have to be as we do in our mornings. I'm so happy and grateful now. What if you just wrote down the name? Right now, do me a favor. We're at 11:30, 11:25. Do me a favor. Write down the name of somebody you love for just a moment. Write down the name of somebody you love. And if it's one of your kids, I won't tell them that you picked them over the other 2. Just write down the name of somebody you love, right? I could write down, good Lord, what's your name, dog? Dublin. He's sitting right at my feet. I couldn't remember his name. You know, that's when you're getting a little more mature, when you call him every name of the dogs you have and not their name. Do you ever do that with my mother used to do that. My name's Sean, and She'd go, Michael, Jimmy, what's your name? Sean. Good Lord, mom's gone around the bend. So if I were to talk about Dublin, Dublin this morning at about 4 a.m. was out howling at the end of the driveway. Dude, listen, he's not our dog. He was a stray that showed up. He wasn't born here. We don't have any relation to his parents, but he's become a fixture here. So he does his best to serve us. And I could get mad that at 4 a.m. he's howling closer to my neighbor's house than my house. So I didn't want my neighbor to, oh my gosh, Dubby's howling again. So I got in the car, drove down to the end of the driveway and got him. And I'm so grateful that he wants to protect us. Now, it's not noon, but I can tell you I love him. I look at some of the names on the screen here and I would put down your names. Just what if you'd put down the name and gave yourself 60 seconds to remember how much love you have for them and they have for you, which can open and uplift the heart. Performing random acts of kindness, volunteering can foster a sense of love and connection. How many of you have ever paid for somebody behind you and they gave you the little toot and said thank you? Right? Slipped some money into a box of Pampers, because you know people who are buying diapers probably aren't flush with cash. If they're buying newborn diapers, it's something new. It's an unexpected expense that they didn't quite save for, right? These are just, when you start to walk around with this idea of giving and this intention, it can literally change everything. So this is why strategic time analysis is so valuable. And we're just talking about the chakras. I'm going to do a whole challenge on strategic time analysis so that you can absolutely triple your productivity in all areas of your life: business, family, body, mind, society. So this one, what do you think this one is? We went from the heart. If we're going from root, sacral, solar plexus, heart, what do you think the next one is? All right. Third eye. This one, supposedly, it's supposed to be the throat. So you know I did this one. So we're going to skip to the third eye right now. There's a reason. There must be a reason why we skip to the third eye. Third eye is late afternoon. Right? Throat should be next. We'll do next. Hopefully it'll be next. So the third eye is this idea of being able to see things. In the afternoon, maybe you're getting off work. Here's the thing, you know why the third eye I think is challenged and most people have difficulty? Because if it is around the 4 to 6 o'clock, what are most people doing around 4 to 6 o'clock? They're leaving work and getting into what? Terrific traffic. And so if they're getting into traffic, can they really see anything other than the bumper in front of them? This is just dawning on me now. So I think that's kind of interesting that I hadn't thought about that before. I saw the 4 to 6. So what happens? So maybe before you start to head home, you can help to put yourself in a more calm and collected state, knowing that you're going to have traffic, rather than going, I wonder if that son of a gun is going to be at exit 13 again, blocking everything up like a jackhole, right? Rather than that, say, I choose to, maybe as if traffic is really interesting, you put a picture of your loved one that you named earlier somewhere in the car. And you think of the stories and the memories that you have with them. Engaging guided imagery, vision board creation. Don't be surprised when you come to the ranch that one of the days is going to be focused around these times, doing these practices. Mindful reading, sending you off into the ranch, go sit under your tree, because if you're a member, if you've ever come to the ranch, you get to pick one of the 700 plus trees that are on the property. And it becomes your tree, and I get to be the caretaker of your tree, and you get to go sit under your tree reading your book or a book that I give you. Kind of cool, huh? Somewhere there's a throat chakra in here. Hang on, let me see if I find it. Did it get? Well, we'll have to add that one in. I know I did it. Something do 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 do. So the throat chakra is between 2 and 4. This is when it's time to speak your truth. I'm just going to tell you about it. Your throat chakra is between 2 and 4. It's this idea that you can speak life into your own existence. It goes in hand with the self-talk. So we'll go more into that. I'll put the throat chakra in here. I'll add it in. I'll edit it in the recording. So crown chakra, evening transition. Right, 6 to 8. Spiritual connection for meditation. What are we doing here? And here, listen. All of this is just downloading me now as I'm having this conversation with you. What do most people do around 6 o'clock in traditional? There's breakfast, dinner, and supper. Breakfast, supper, and dinner. Supper is lunch, and dinner is dinner, and that's usually around 6 o'clock. Isn't that when we're gathering? Isn't that when we're connecting with other people in our life? Now, I know today the idea of sitting down together is kind of like sitting on a couch. You sit on a couch, they'll sit on a chair, and maybe you're watching TV or whatever it is. It's rare that the family sits down at a dinner table. It happens, but it's not that common. But what I do like is the fact that maybe even if they just eat together. I know sometimes people are just so busy running around. It's grabbing something through a drive-through on the way to a sporting event or sporting practice or something, right? The idea of this connection of the crown chakra, this encourages spiritual connection. This is for you. The crown chakra, located top of the head, is where the universe comes into you and you go into the universe. Reflective journaling. Now, this might be done easier time-wise, just for sake of dialogue. Doing it as you go to rest at night, as you go to sleep at night. All right. So that's just to give you an idea of the strategic alignment with the analysis of the chakras. So here's just some basic fundamentals, right? The Ness program, valuable to consider the activities or practices most aligned with the energetic themes of the chakra. How many of us, if we said, play some relaxing music, and to you, rap music was relaxing music? Could be. Listen, there's some people that a good rap is a relaxing thing. But for me, that's not. So it's out of alignment with what I consider to be relaxing. So we may do I am stuff in the root chakra, but we don't believe it. This is where the Ness program comes in. There's a lot of times that one particular modality, speaking to our chakras, I am healthy and well, even though you're sick and you got a doctor's appointment that afternoon for test results and you're nervous as hell. We still have to have the faith. This is where self-talk comes in. This is where addiction to approval comes in. This is where mental toughness comes in. This is why this entire program is designed and uniquely equipped to handle where when you enter into one particular modality of self-talk or chakras or strategic time alliance analysis, the wheels kind of fall off if we don't have the rest of the program. STA can be used to set clear, attainable goals related to each chakra. The approach ensures that time and energy are invested in a balanced manner across all areas of personal growth. Schedule time. Give yourself time on your... How many of you have time on your calendar right now for you? Now, if you've been hanging around me for a while, you probably do, but most of you haven't set an appointment with you for you. I set 3 appointments a day for me, with me. Now, sometimes that jackhole doesn't always show up, but I set them. Sometimes I can't show up. I'll try to push it, but those are kind of sacred times to me. Those are kind of my non-negotiables. Sometimes Gizmo, our ram on the ranch, has different ideas of what my non-negotiables are, right? Or the weather puts me in a different state because maybe a pipe broke and no, Michelle, I can't go fix the pipe right now. I have to do my meditation. I can tell you she would have some choice words for me. Helps keeping track of time. Here's the thing that we struggle. I know that most of the people that I deal with, most of the time that I deal with myself, struggle with tracking the successes of my actions. As I get better, I'm also getting better at beating myself up. That's just me. I don't know about you. But as I get better and as I do more and as I create, right? This is the third day in a row, third weekend and a third Friday in a row that I've done a challenge. My goal is to do a Thursday, Friday challenge every week. Sounds great. It's a little bit of an energy focus, right? Good news is I've got 40 years of practice. I can pretty much pull some things together that's sounds good. But using this strategic time analysis allows me to say, what were the results of that? Did that time that I spent give me any better? See, I ask 3 questions at the end of the day. What did I do well? What could I have done better? What talent, skill, or resource do I need to come into my life? That's in alignment with my strategic time analysis. What did I do well? What could I have done better? Could I have done the opening better for the strategic analysis section, so day 2 of the Ness program? Could I have wrapped it up better? You follow me? If you start to take some time and look at you'll be amazed at where you've got some gaps, right? And if you've got a gap, I wouldn't go down into the gap because it's down this side, down across the bottom and back up. I would build the bridge. And awareness is the bridge. Allow time for reflection. Improvement without compromising other responsibilities. A lot of times I'll hear when I talk to moms, I deal in the world of professional side of MLM, moms leading moms. You may know it as network marketing. A lot of times moms, their first defense mechanism is, well, I have little itty bitties. And I say, that's absolutely fine. Because what happens is we think we have to take time away, that we're going to miss a memory, we're going to do something. Not if you do it right. Not if you do it without compromising the other responsibilities, and STA can allow you to do that. Part of strategic time analysis is to realize, and this is going to hurt, is to find out where you need to ask for help. A lot of times we ask for help out of desperation. When we're exhausted and we have no margins. How many of you have ever been told, don't color out of the lines? Right? You went outside the margin. My question to you is how much margin do you have before you lose your shiitake? That's what all of this is about. That's what personal undevelopment is about, is to be able to give yourself some margin, some space between where you start to get agitated and where your fuse absolutely blows up. This is the phrase we say, people have a short, what? Fuse. They have no margin in their life. They have no margin for the unexpected or the unwanted. Listen, the unwanted can show up in your life. I get it. But this too shall pass, right? The benefits of STA, by incorporating it with the Ness program, individuals create a more structured, more efficient, more effective path towards success. Listen, every one of you is capable of this. This is about getting rid of the distractions. What would happen? Just type in the chat. I'm just curious. Just type in the chat, how many hours a day might you, or in a week, might you free up if you took off all the social media apps on your phone? Now, I would say only take them off unless you're making 5K or more from them. If you're making 5K a month from them, leave them on. If you're not making 5K a month, because that's what most of you would like, is a $60,000 a year side gig. If you're not making 5K, take them off. You got to be doing something different. How many hours? No, you might be a little shocked to put that in. So my point is this. If you could take that time back and turn it into 5K, 6K, 7K, do you think the amount of time that you spend, if it was spent with more intention, more efficiency, and more focus, do you think you could create income from that time you spend on social media? If the answer is yes, then we need to do that. We need to get focused. We need to use the Ness program to allow you to get focused and functional. But if you think, no, not really, then what? Listen, go sit and ponder an ant walking around. That'll serve you better, I promise you. Write love letters to your kids that you can hand to them when they're 10 and 13 and 18. Change your state. It'll change everything. So there's our conversation for today, a little bit on Ness and a little bit on understanding what strategic time analysis. Now imagine if we took strategic time analysis and we incorporated your day. See, there's a gentleman, Ed Mylott. If you know him, amazing soul. He says, and I believe him based upon his success, he does 3 days worth of work every day. How many of you have ever gotten to the end of your day and said, man, I got stuff to carry on to tomorrow? Well, he does the same thing. He does the morning, 6 hours is 1 day. So he's only got a 6-hour day, not a 24-hour day, because what's that thing we know about the time that we have? We will fill it with something. So he takes 6 hours and he gets a day done. I get all my stuff done in the day. Then he takes another 6 hours, takes a little break, another 6 hours, and then another 6 hours, 18 hours a day. Some of you already work 18 hours a day. I should say it this way. Some of you are up 18 hours a day. And listen, I get it. There's things you need to do around the home. There's things that you need to do with your significant other. There's things you need to do for your kids. There's things you need to do, but those are part of your day. They're part of your day now. What we're saying is that when you understand how to, let's just say you did 12 hours a day. 12 hours a day, which you already do, but we made it 2 specific days and you got really focused and energetically designed and wired, and you used self-talk. You used the chakra clearing. You used the understanding of mental toughness. You know, you're going to get up at 6:30. You get up at 6:30. Hell or high water. Doesn't matter what time you went to bed. You get up at 6:30. If you had to stay up till 5, you get an hour's sleep. You'll be exhausted. You will be more efficient, because that going to 5 probably didn't need to take that long. Could have, maybe you were at the hospital. Maybe you just stay up. Maybe you do a full 24-hour day. Just saying. All I'm saying is that the end of this game is a grave. The end of this game is a grave, and I don't want you sliding into it saying, I wish I should have. I wish I could have. I really should have, could have, would have. I didn't need to like 35 videos on TikTok every day. Just saying. So that's the understanding of strategic time analysis. We gave something that's a full 4-hour training, 45 minutes. We related it to the chakras because we talked about that yesterday. Here's what I want to do. How many of you might feel, just listen, if on a scale of 1 to 10, how do you feel right now about you? And it's okay if you're a 2. It's okay if you're a 2. Drop it in the chat. Scale of 1 to 10. How do you feel right now about your energy, about your capabilities, about your capacity, about what you're looking forward to do, about how you're feeling about moving forward? Right? Tell me how you feel, because I'm going to show you real quick how we can elevate your state. So 5 and 4s and 4ish. Okay. We're going to do a little tapping. Part of the Ness programming is tapping. So we're going to just take a big breath. Blow it out. Rub your hands together. And I really want you to own that 4, that 5, that 6. I really want you to own it. Shake your hands out, shake your hands out. I just want you to own it. I want you to feel the pain. I want you to feel the angst. I want you to feel the discouragement, or whatever it is, whatever's making you feel a 4. I want you to turn up the volume on that 4, on that 5. You feel it? I want you to totally own it. This isn't something that you can pass off. This isn't, you own this. I want your body maybe to start to sweat. That's the neuroencoding. And we're going to do some tapping. You don't need to understand tapping. You don't, well, I've tried it before and it didn't work. We're doing tapping right now and I'm going to guide you. So make the fist, the karate chop. We're going to just start tapping right here. And I really want you to feel into it. So this is what in EFT is called your current statement. And when I say I'm currently at, you're going to fill in the number. I'm currently at, and I'm okay with that. Because in the past, I might have just let this go. I own this number. This is my number. I really understand that if I'm a 4, 5, or 6, I choose that. I chose that. And now I choose more. Now I'm okay with still having the understandings that I need, but this 4 is now turning into my fuel. I don't feel limited by it. I don't feel lost because of it. I now know my starting point, and I am not going to a 3. If I'm a 5, I am not going to a 4. I am taking a step forward. And just move your hand out a little bit into the future. And now that I've moved my hand in my future, I feel different. It feels different. I choose more. Say it. I choose more and I choose me. And I love that. Shake your hands out. Shake your hands out. Rub them together. Shake them out again. Now, tell me what number you feel. Tell me what number you're at now. Hey, Debbie. Hi, buddy. What number are you at? Listen, that was a minute. You have this ability. This is now in your toolbox. This is now in your toolbox to use to elevate yourself. You went up 20%. How many of you would like a 20%? I know, Debbie. How many of you would like a 20% improvement in your energy? You just did it. You just did it. From having this, I bet if we did it again now, you get another 20%. This isn't about having to beat yourself up to move forward. My daddy used to say, the beatings will continue until morale improves. That's probably not a good model. Let's improve the morale so morale can improve. So here's what you get to do. You get to, from this moment on, know that you can start to look at your times. When I mentor students, one of the things I ask them to do on an hourly basis, every 60 minutes, they set an alarm. They send me a Y for yes. I felt good and moved towards my goal. Listen, how much closer do you have to move towards your goal to get a yes? Does it have to be Nobel Peace Prize distance? Or could it just be more? Could it just be an awareness? Well, all of the challenges we typically have is that we think we've got to go cojones to the wall in order to say, yeah, I moved towards my goal. No, it's just about doing a bit more. Listen, if one of the things you wanted to do was send a thank you to one person every hour, could you send a thank you? Could you just send a text? Could you have a copy and paste a text that's already there? You go to the last person you sent it to last hour. You find them if you got a few texts during the hour. You go find that, copy the words, and you just find somebody you love in your thing and send it to them and says, hey, I was thinking of you. Here's your Hershey's kiss, and it's the poop emoji, right? Just whatever it is, send yourself, because you'll get some laughters back. My point is when I have some challenging moments, I go send love to 20, 30, 40 people in my phone. Some I've talked to regularly, some I don't. And what they know by now is that I'm doing that for a very self-full reason. They say, hey, listen, whatever you're going through, forget it. I love you. They know it's usually I'm dealing with a situation where I need some love and I'm calling in some cards. Part of the neuroenergetic self-sculpting is you create your mold. And it's okay to ask for love. And sometimes the post, the copy and paste that I'll send out is, am I as big an a-hole as I think I am right now? And usually laughs come back. Ha ha ha, no, you're not. Listen, we have to understand where we are in this current moment. But here's the neat thing about reality. You and I are in the exact moment. 11:52 and 38 seconds. We're all in the exact same time. You may be an hour ahead, 12:38. You may be an hour behind, 10:38. But in this moment, we're in the exact moment. So we're stacked. I want you to think about this. We're stacked in this moment. I'm moving on my path, you're moving on your path. And the second I engage with you, I draw a line, a golden thread from me to you in this exact moment. And so one of our energies is going to win. One of our energies is going to bring the other one up. Is this making sense? Drop a 1 in the chat. Here's why I want you to understand this, is that somebody right now who you love might be dealing with some shiitake in their life. Send them a message. Send them a message. If they show up on your mind, they show up in your heart, send them a note saying, I don't know why I was just thinking of you. How many of you have done that? And somebody has said, oh my gosh, you have no idea how I needed that note right now. In order for you to reach your next level, you have to pay attention. You get to pay attention to the moments in time where the universe says, I need you right now. Could you imagine? Listen to this. The universe shows up and says, I need you, because it puts somebody's name on your heart, in your head. You get this, ooh, that was weird. I just got a cool feeling. Share it. The universe is asking for you with today's society and today's confusion and coming out of the pandemic and mental challenges for children still on the rise and mental challenges for people still on the rise, suicide starting to level off a little bit, but still at astronomical numbers. The universe needs people like you. And when you show up with a smile on your face, it's going to say, hey, can you help me? That's what the universe is asking. When you get these downloads and these information notices and these moments where you get to want to love somebody, your kid laughs and makes you laugh like bejeebies. You're like, oh my God, that was so funny. You won't believe what so-and-so did today. That's the universe trying to use every tool at its disposal to get you engaged to help make the world a better place. I know it sounds like a big responsibility, but I'm just glad I'm not the universe. I'm glad I get to be the one that asks for help. I'm okay with being asked for help by the universe, by God. Does that make sense? Cool. Well, we're going to finish 5 minutes early. So, hey, what questions, what comments would you take away from today? Would share with something you learned from today? What's something you liked from today's conversation? Hello, Christina.
Oh,
She just freeze. Hello, hello. Somebody just say something. I just want to see if I can hear y'all. I think I can hear y'all.
can you hear me? I can't.
Yes.
I can't hear Christina.
Yeah, I
can't.
heard her very vaguely, like she's whispering.
I heard her for a moment. Did she just tell us to go jump in a lake? Is that what that meant?
I think that was the signal. Yes.
Who else? What'd you learn? What'd you take away from today?
May I share?
For sure. Please go ahead, Louise.
Well, this whole thing is amazing. I love it, love it, love it. What really just popped was when just recently, towards the end, where you were talking about how we are stacked, and when you send out your love to one, that there's this divine thread that connects us. Yes, I don't know. I'm just like, that's amazing.
Right? Because now think of the times that you got those messages.
Yes.
And
Yes.
it's a golden thread. To me, it's a golden thread, right? Because that's what's used in a lot of imagery. It's this golden thread that connects. But here's the thing. That golden thread continues on past them
Yes.
because it allows their state to upgrade, to change, because I know that when I've sent that to people I know and love who are in my inner circle, and all of a sudden they send me back a message saying, you won't believe what happened. So-and-so just came home, or this just happened, or that just happened. So the thread continues, and that's where the ripple effect is. And if we start to allow ourselves to realize that any interaction we have is a ripple effect, I just look at mine, and this is very selfish on my part. Can I create an impact now that'll last 2,400 years, 600 generations?
Absolutely. A
So,
ripple is a wave that is infinite. It never stops.
and the only thing that can cancel it out is the opposite energy.
Yes.
So can my energy be in such a state that somebody would have to be really in a shiitake storm to absolutely cancel that out? So I do my best to interact and to engage at the highest level possible at every chance I can.
That yours is outweighing, as you talked about.
Yeah, my gravity, I believe the gravity I
Your
have
gravity. Yes.
is significant enough that it may be diminished a little bit, but it can't be canceled out. That's my goal.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. That's so powerful.
And here's the fun thing. You know, I talk about this. The reason why meditations need to be, when you do some personally, you're going to do some deep development, 15 minutes doesn't work. How do I know that? Because if you go back over the 1,755 episodes that I've done in the morning call, 98, 99% of the breakthroughs happen after 45 minutes. Here we are, 55 minutes, 58 minutes, and you're like, you just said it. The thing that you just said was the most powerful today, which is why I'm okay with the first part of it being just not fluff, but I know it's fodder. I've got to get through with good content to bring you to a level of awareness so that between the two of us, because we're connected in that thread right now, you sitting here being a part of this presentation is connected in that thread. And then I get a message that might have been just for you to talk about the golden thread.
Well, I truly believe the beginning, I mean, it's all building blocks. It's just that there's some at one point the blocks just fit absolutely perfectly.
I love that. Thank you. Yeah, it's that
Thank
tipping
you.
point
Thank you.
where we no longer need the glue. It's just the fact that the interaction, the interface between them is so perfect that we don't necessarily need the glue. I love it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for that imagery.
I love it too. And I love you.
I love you. Who else? Takeaways, thoughts, comments? Ahas.
I was fascinated by it having specific times.
And watch your peanuts, your 3 and 4 year old, right? 3 and 4 they are. Watch them at the different time of days. Watch how they interact. See what chakra they're in. Just watch them as the mom and say, I wonder, okay, so we're in the root chakra. Are they establishing who they are as little people? Right? Right. Then we go to the sacral chakra. Are they becoming aware? Are they becoming feeling? Are they becoming emotional? Is that when they get really snuggly? Right? Just pay attention to those times, right? Because you know this and like, oh, he just wants to hug me. I bet you look at the time and go, oh my God, there's right in the sacral chakra. Mommy, tell me a story. Listen, oh my gosh. I just got the chills over every part of my body. When our children go to bed, regardless of the time, they say, what? Tell me a story. Communicate with me to the universe. Tell me something that I can learn. I don't care if they're saying the same thing 1,000 times. You want me to read Red Riding Hood one more time? Oh my gosh. But that's their sacred, that's their crown chakra connecting to the universe. Make me dream. Allow me to see what's not here. Allow me to be in the unknown. Oh my gosh. Everything I needed to know, I should have been taught in kindergarten. Wow. Yeah, Christina, I've never said that before. I've never told anybody that when I used to write my signature all the time, and people go, you're egotistical, aren't you? No, not really. I'm writing checks, baby. Every one of these, I'm writing checks, I'm having checks, I'm receiving checks, I'm signing contracts. And I was 16, 17 in high school, and people would say, "You're odd, Murph." Like, thank you, thank you. And I knew then the odder I was, the better I was. I used to coach the faculty basketball team. Anyways, who else? Thoughts, comments, takeaways? Thank you for that, Luis. Yeah, I would love to hear your feedback on that over the course of the next couple of days of just paying attention to those chakras and seeing if they actually are operating from that. Oh, that would be so cool. Not that I would tell Michelle, we should go get a baby. We should go get a baby, and so we can monitor that. I think the answer, I would have to move in with one of you all. That's all I would tell you. Who else? Thoughts, comments, takeaways? All right, my little legalese. Next week, Thursday, Friday, same thing. So here's my suggestion to you today. Pay attention to your times. Just do it. How many of you have ever gotten a calendar or printed out a form that showed all of the hours of the day and you said, I'm going to keep track of my time? And you did that for half a day.
I've actually been trying to create a schedule for myself now that my youngest is in pre-K. But I'm like, how do I structure my day? Now I think I know how.
Well, begin with just, I would start off with chunking it down. What time do you wake up? What time do you go to bed? And I would start with the big end in mind. At the end of the day, when I put my head on the pillow at the end, what do I want to accomplish? Every day, what do I want to feel like? What do I want to accomplish? What strategy do I want done? What state do I want done? What story do I want done? And then when can you have the biggest influence over that? Well, this is going to take personal time. Well, I got to do it in the morning before he gets back from pre-K. Right. So now all of a sudden you start to, if I want that, I've got this window to fit it in, I got to do it here. And then that becomes a non-negotiable. Somebody goes, hey, Luis, oh, my dear, I love you. Let's go for coffee. Sorry, that's my personal time. Well, I want to talk to humans. I want to talk to people who don't come. I get it. Don't forego you for a temporary yes. And start to chunk it down. Then, because if you say, well, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do this, your old story shows up. I can give you 1,001 examples from friends. Your old story shows up and goes, you lost all your dishes. How did all my dishes? Right? Something crazy shows up. So don't rip your old identity and say that's no good. Say my identity got me here. The kids are alive every day. That's a good thing, right? So I want me now. And in order for me to get me before I put my head on the pillow, this has to happen. Where's the best time for that to happen? When they're not here, when they are here, when you put them down after dinner. It could be the evening before right? There's some place where you need your 30, 45 minutes of you time. And that help, and earlier usually probably will influence the rest of the day as well. So I love that you're wanting to set up that schedule. Just become aware of what happens during your day. Find out where you're at. See where your resistance comes in. What time of day are you at the biggest resistance? And when you're in that, when you understand where that resistance is, are you out of alignment with the chakra that is normally operating at that level?
I know at the beginning of the call in the chat, I put in, before I can do like anything like constructive, I feel like I have to have my house clean. Because if anything's out of place, disorganized, not clean, I can't concentrate. And I feel like I have to be doing all these other things. And so I just end up wasting the time. So like, when is the best time to do that? Because most nights I do try to have the house clean before I go to sleep. But like last night, I was done.
So here's a suggestion. Joe Dispenza has something called walking meditations. What if your house cleaning, you don't really need to think about where the spoons go? What if you started to play a meditation in your mind? You just put headphones on Maybe it was your jamming music. Maybe what if listen, I get to take care of me. I'm hiding it as if I'm taking care of the house, but this is me time. And it doesn't have to be where you're focusing on tasks and things and duties and all of that. Just allow it to be your time to raise your energy. Right? Anytime you go to clean the house, unless somebody's having a conversation with you, typically, I know when Michelle starts to vacuum, I usually try to get to the other side of the ranch. I just let her have that time. And to her, that is kind of her meditative state. She loves to get on the lawnmower and just mow grass for hours because she does it. It doesn't have to think. So turn that house cleaning time. This is a Wayne Dyer moment. Change the way you look at it. Go, I get to sneak in personal time as I'm putting the dishes away. I know that sounds crazy. And somebody's like, well, why do I have to be the one to always do that? You like to have the organization. So just listen to some fun, cool music while you're doing that. And give your brain the idea that this is me setting up my day. This is me setting up my sleep if you do it before you go to sleep. Does that make sense? Cool. Love it, love it, love it. Anyone else? Any last thoughts, comments, questions, takeaways?
I'm not sure about that.
That's okay, Alexa. I love you anyway. Anyone else? All right, there's day 2, STA and Ness. This is a huge program. It is so totally encompassing. The Ness program becomes a part of your everyday, becomes a part of most of your every minute. That's why it's the neuroenergetic self-sculpting, not Sean sculpting, not Sean teaching, not Sean doing this. This is about me helping you guide yourself to your best version of you. Because once you see it and you can put a little hook in it and hang on to it, what you think about and think about, you continue to bring about. And it's a very cool process. So I'm excited for you to be on this journey with me. I love it. And cool. I will do that. Absolutely. So here's what I know. It's Friday. Most people are going for the WEAK end. What's the word I just spelled? Are you going outside in like a short sleeve? Is it like, oh, yeah, Miami, you know, it's chilly here. It's like 6.
It's a little chilly out, but my bus alarm or my pickup time alarm went off, so I have to run and get my 3-year-old.
Okay. I love it. All right. So here's what I know, that because you're making this effort to be here to do this work, don't let it slip away by allowing distractions to keep you from your highest and best self. So next week is self-talk and mental toughness. Mental toughness, you may need to have some armor on because it'll sound like I'm coming for you. But this is what mental toughness is about. It's to get rid of delusional thinking. So I love you tons. I appreciate you. I'm your head brain training Ness conversation misfit. I'll see y'all where?
At the next event.
I love it, love it, love it. Y'all have a great afternoon, a great weekend. And if you want to join us tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Saturday on weekends, you can go to unlearnme.live and you'll see where it says weekday sessions. Just click on that button. We'll see you.